All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel and this week's Bike Quick Talks. So what are we talking about this week? Well, as you can tell behind me, I got the Trek 3700 here, as well as all my many other bikes here. And what we're going to be talking about today is the number of chain rings on the bike. So what is the difference between a 1x, a 2x, and a 3x setup on the front chain rings of the bicycle? But before we get into today's video, if you are not subscribed, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. That way you don't miss any of this great content. And if you already are subscribed, make sure you have that little bell icon checked there. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any great videos, because why would you want to do that? So on to the bikes. So what am I talking about? 1x, 2x, or 3x setups? Well, differences here. It's pretty much going to be on the front chain rings of the bicycle. So that's pretty much going to be right up in this area here, right up on the front. You'll either have 1 gear, 2 gears, or 3 gears up on the front. So what does that mean? What is the difference between 1, 2, and 3? What is that going to do? Well, pretty much starting with the basics here. I got the Trek 3700 behind me. This bike, when it was original, and it still is actually, same thing, it has a 3x setup on the front. So essentially it has 3 different chain rings up on the front of the bicycle. So what does that do? Really what it does is it gives you a wider range of gears that you could possibly be in. So this bike here actually came with a 7-speed rear cassette. I've upgraded to an 8-speed a long time ago. But pretty much it only has 8 gears on the back, and I believe they only go up to like 34 tooth. So they're not that big of a range on the rear cassette. It goes from like 10 to 34, which is very, very small range. So with the 3 gears up on the front, you can kind of combine those with the rear gears as you shift through them, to therefore get a much lower gear and a much higher gear to help you whether you're climbing a hill or you're riding up, so you're pretty much down a flat road and you want to go as fast as possible. So that's going to be the benefit with this bike here, with a 3x setup. So do you see bikes with 3x setups now? Yeah, you do. A lot of the time it's going to be your kind of your budget bikes like Project Mongoose that I got sitting over here. This bike does. Entry-level kind of bike shop bikes are going to have a 3x setup on the front. And actually my wife's hybrid bike right up behind me here, that actually is a 3x10 setup. So it's 10 gears on the back, 3 on the front. That's just how it came. It really gives you the option to change, mix up your gears and shift through the gears from which you can sit in that center gear on the front. The second one, shift through the back and you can pretty much get any gear ratio you want, which is great. So moving on to the next one. So the next one you're going to run across is going to be similar to my road bike here. Road bike, it has a 2x setup on the front. So essentially it has 2 chain rings on the front of the bike to allow you to change through gears that way. You do see them on some of the kind of mid-range mountain bikes. They give you a little bit of ratio there. Most of the time though, 2x setup, going to be on a road bike. So why would you want a 2x or a 2 chain ring setup on a road bike? The big difference with this one versus something like the 3 chain ring setup is with the road bike, you essentially have 2 very different sized gears on here. Just check, this has a 50 tooth as the large chain ring and a 34 tooth as the small chain ring. So there is a big difference between those, therefore giving you a huge range of gears that you can go through. Therefore, when you're climbing a hill, you can be in that lowest possible gear and just grind up that hill. When you're on those flats, you can just book it down the flats, no issues at all. That's the benefit of that. That's where you're gonna see them most times on a road bike, and they're gonna be very different sizes than each other. And now we'll move on to the last option. The last option you're gonna have is gonna be a 1x setup. Now I've made tons of videos all about single speed riding and all about single speed bikes. If you wanna go see one of those videos, the link right up in the corner here, go take a look at those. Today I'm gonna try and refrain from talking about single speed bikes because I love single speed. So we're gonna talk about my 1x setup with gears on the back. So essentially, what is a 1x setup? Pretty much takes you down from having a 3 gear to a 2 gear to you only have a 1 chain ring up on the front of your bike. This is my dirt jumper, my Superfly setup the same way, only has 1 gear on the front. So what's the benefit of going a single speed or not single speed? I told you I was gonna talk about single speeds. We're not talking about single speeds today. We are talking about 1x setups. So 1x setup, what's the benefit of only having 1 chain ring up on the front? 1 chain ring on the front means you eliminate your whole front derailleur is gone, all the cabling is gone, no shifter up on the handlebar, all of that is gone. There is no more of that, so you shed a bunch of weight and make it so much simpler on the front half of your bike. You don't have to worry about the derailleur potentially dropping your chain, and you don't have to worry about shifting the front pretty much. It's just nice and simple. Now on the back, with the 1x setup, generally you're gonna run a pretty wide range cassette. So they start around 10, around a 10 tooth, and they go up. I think I've seen like a 54 tooth. They're huge. So you run a very wide range rear cassette to kind of make up for only having one size chainring up here. So that's gonna be the main difference there. With a 1x setup, you're generally gonna want to run a large cassette on the back. Is there a benefit? Is there a downfall to that? Sure, I mean, it could be a little heavier. You're gonna run a cassette either way, so it's gonna be there either way. I mean, that's pretty much it. You still have a derailleur on the back, so you can still shift through gears. You're not stuck just riding a single speed, so you still have gears that you can shift through to make things easier or ride faster or whatever you want to do. That's gonna be a benefit there. Now, when are you gonna see a 1x setup? Pretty much majority of mountain bikes nowadays going to be a single speed, are going to be a 1x up on the front with anywhere between 9 to 12 gears on the back. Just depends on what you're looking for. I can go on that in a separate video. But that's where you're going to see those most times on any kind of modern mountain bike. It's going to have a 1x setup just due to simplicity reasons and the way that frames are all designed now and frame geometry and all that. That's really what they're going to be running. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please head down below, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. If you have any comments or questions you'd like to add on to this video, let me know down below in the comments section. I love talking to you guys, love getting back to you, love making videos you guys recommend if you have some other questions you had. But until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.